A very warm welcome back to Hamburg for live coverage of ESL One Hamburg 2018. This is day number 1 of 6. Brilliant Dota already this morning. Hoping for a bit more this afternoon as well. Right now, you join us in the second series of the group. Alliance find themselves a game down in this best of 2 against ViCi Gaming. And if you want more action as well, you want multi-screen action, head over to Stream B right now as well. You can see Pain versus EG. Pain are 1-0 up in that game. EG, notorious slow starters at tournaments, and it seems no different here in Hamburg. Or maybe you fancy Stream C, where Secret are currently 1 game up against Mineski. That one's in the draft right now, so head over there or keep it in the multi-screens and stay here with us on Stream A. We're going to focus on ViCi Gaming once more, see if they can claim another 2-0 sweep. They've already done one this morning against Pain, and we're back with your analyst experts as well, and with some of the quick wit.
That's you. You meant you.
Huh?
That's not making the play faster moment later on, Kyle. You've blown it now.
That's fine.
I was like, chung, and then
I'm trying to stay under the radar.
Fly under radar. Okay. All right, good. Changes, gents, for game number 2. Do Alliance need to change too much? I mean, you said they stuck to the game plan, right? That was what they wanted to play. It's how they wanted to play. Do they just pick slightly differently?
They had a better game plan. They just didn't execute it properly. Yeah. You put ViCi on, well, not ViCi, but you know, if you play both those lineups perfectly, Alliance is going to win. Right. They should win. And they didn't really go for Roche. They never seemed to like regroup, identify how they were going to win the game, and go try and execute. And I felt like they suffered because of it. They're just throwing bodies at towers until they got to a point where it's Mag TB. TB as a BKB. Now they can win a fight and just walk down lanes. Roche dies in 10 seconds, etc., etc. So I think you stick to the script. They've done this same style of play for like 4 months now. They're not going to change too much. I think it's actually ViCi that might need to adapt a little bit. You don't give them Chen again.
All right, draft will start shortly. Will, on the flip side, is there an issue with younger teams, and I call Alliance a younger team in general terms, playing bigger teams from other regions when they don't play them all the time? Is there still a barrier to it? Is there like almost like an awe factor going on?
No, I genuinely feel like they should have been okay. I think that was more their problems than anything that ViCi did. Like, they just made some discipline errors more than anything. That's like, sometimes you look at a team and it's so easy from a top-down perspective. Because obviously we're watching the game progress linearly, we can see what's happening, and we can say to you like, oh, they should have done this. But it felt like it was a discipline thing. It seemed like it was their own inexperience that hurt them the most. Like, if you're patient in that game, you play around the cooldowns, because even though Metamorphosis isn't Terrorblade's ulti, it might as well be with the cooldown that it has. Same with Mag RP, same with Global Silence. Like, those are essentially 2-minute windows every single time those spells are used. And if you're not really abusing those windows, like, sometimes you have to be willing to farm in that game. If you're Alliance, you have to slow down the pace of the game. When those spells are up, you have to be smart about how you take fights. You have to farm.
That's the exact point I would have made as well, where you have 3 cooldowns to play around. If you can burn 1, you have an advantage. If you burn 2, you can go for the jugular. They just needed to play more of this poke, not really hard committing to a fight to try and get these cooldowns out. It's fine to trade split for silence and meta, and then you have 100 seconds to go push because you're so much stronger. But the lack of these teamfight sustain items that I've seen a lot of the top tier teams utilize to really close out games, it makes it easier to play if you have a pipe. You don't need to outplay the opponent anymore. You're just gonna tank through the damage and get the objectives for free.
Alliance back on familiar ground here. The Visage and the Monkey King both very much comfort picks for them in the opening 2. ViCi, they've gone for the classic Wisp Gyro, which we've already seen this morning.
Yep. One of the best combos still, I would say, in Dota. It's just very easy to draft around. It accomplishes a lot with just the 2 heroes. You already have like your lane clear, your wave clear, you have massive mobility, you're strong throughout every phase of the game if you can survive the lanes, and you can match it with pretty much any 3 follow-up picks. I'm not a huge fan of Bane Venge from Alliance. I already feel like they have a massive hole in that draft. Their team fight is going to be severely lacking, and I don't think you can afford to pick heroes like that against a Gyro. And I love the Lion pick. This is a hero I think is underrated and very underutilized in the current meta. After they buffed his base damage a little bit, they buffed his stun. Now does, I believe, 80 damage level 1, or is actually, no, it's 120 now, if I'm not mistaken. And you're a very strong early game roamer, and then once you hit 6+, you have a kill every time your ultimate's up.
Yeah.
very good against a hero like Monkey King as well.
Yeah, it already looks like a dangerous game for the Monkey King, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like the old school secret combo back when the Shanghai Major, the LAN they won, they used to run a lot of Core Furion with Lion. It's similar in the way, and they would do Wisp as well, where you have this hero that provides enough lockdown individually to get your global heroes in fighting distance. And it just becomes incredibly easy to land kills because a Lion can just play off map, hide in the enemy jungle, and if you ever get a stun or a hex off, the relocate's going to be there, that hero is dead. 100-0 without really a chance to act to defend itself.
Alliance have good laners though.
Yes, they do.
I do think IO Gyro is such a good combo, but at the same time, like I don't know what the, I'm not sure what the. Laning wise, like Lion is a little bit has some deficiencies though. Like you still need levels on that hero to set up kill potential. It's hard to get that level 6 like you were talking about. It's not as easy.
Yep, I get that. I just feel like if you can't translate winning lanes into massive advantages or towers, I just don't think it's that relevant. I don't like Luna either against a Lion. We were discussing this backstage when we saw
The
Secret
Luna
drafting
Gyro.
against EG. Whenever you pick a Luna into heroes that have incredible single target lockdown and high burst damage, like Gyro is always ready to go. Luna without Eclipse wants to hit jungle creeps, and Gyrocopter can just run at you. Lion offers a ton of burst damage and control as well, so you're in a position whereas this Luna, you want a Dragonlance Mask and a BKB before you really look to get involved, and that's just such a slow-paced game against a Wisp Gyro strat.
People do like the Luna versus Gyro though. They think it's like a 1-to-1.
I don't agree.
It's not something that Lions are renowned for playing either.
I think it's just the meta of what people are probably doing. So you wouldn't advocate your own team to do this, Kyle?
If I had a team, I wouldn't tell them to do this now.
We've seen a lot of it in China.
It makes sense. Like it's decent synergy with like the Venge and the Monkey King. We used to see Monkey King Death Prophet as this great 1-2 combination. Luna's in the same regard, just going to walk up onto the high ground, hit the tower. The Monkey King sort of protects him, zones the enemies. It's just, again, like a slow cooldown dependent hero, and I feel like you want the ability to play on map at all times when you're playing against a Gyrocopter line. Like you want to be able to pressure them no matter the cooldowns, whereas now with Luna ult down, with grip down, like you don't really feel confident playing an enemy jungle anymore. Specifically Luna ult. Necro. Interesting pick. Great synergy with the Wisp. I feel like the same way I like the Alliance tri-core, I really enjoy when teams pick up cores that survive through different ways, specifically survivability on one, and then like this elusive mobile core that's tough to lock down. Gyro and Necro kind of complement themselves in this regard. They last pick either a mid or an off lane now, depending on which direction they want to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go Bat Rider here, much like we saw EG do against Secret. I think it's very nice here, even though I think that hero's garbage.
They have so much single target on ViCi.
But at the same time, when you have Necro, Gyro, you already have enough AoE.
Yeah,
That's why those cores are so nice.
it's just cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. So highest rated bands, they think TA, Beastmaster, and Sven. I don't think anyone's playing Sven anytime soon.
You can't play Sven.
But look at the synergy.
Yeah, it's pretty good on both teams right now, but it's slightly favouring ViCi.
I actually think Lion has synergy with Gyro as well. It's the same way I like Lion with Ursa. You just have so much damage output in that 4-second lockdown window that the hero dies. You have a lot of options. I'm gonna ban from Alliance. Not sure I agree with that one.
It's a big ViCi favourite right now.
Yeah.
The other one being the Ember as well.
It's a solid pick for sure. Ember isn't bad, but I think to Blitz's point, your lanes are already pretty weak. I don't think you want to double down on that because the Luna can certainly crush a laning stage, and that's when you get afraid. There's this level 8 Mask of Madness Luna, like 10 minutes into the game. All of a sudden you feel a lot of pressure to make things happen.
I would storm it up.
You like this as a Storm game, Will?
For ViCi, I think it's a pretty good storm game.
I think they're just going to go like DK, and
It's not bad either. But then you might be DK against Monkey mid.
that's not that bad of a matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what else they've been doing a lot when they've run several of these is TV.
They're not TV on ViCi.
No, pretty sure they're not.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Not. I would have preferred a DK. I think a point stun would have been real nice, and just like this natural frontliner. Now you really rely on the Necro Gyro to not fall behind, because the Pugna Lion like need these heroes to make space for them and create room for them to exist in team engagements. And it's very much now a snowball lineup, and the Luna BKB now makes her immortal.
See Loader and the boys from Alliance. Let's give them something to think about.
I'd love a Furion pick here. I think that's so nice for them. Not many teams have the balls to take a Furion core last pick, but if there's a team that could do it, I think it's Alliance. I just saw Pain beat EG, their Drow strat actually, because they had this Furion Visage lineup, and you can play this Alliance squad the same way, where you just take map control, crush through the tier 1s, and have total map control by like 12 minutes.
Oh.
And they do go Storm. Great call, Will.
No, I thought ViCi was going to take it. I would love to take credit for
Should have
that.
just backdragged and taken credit anyway.
I think it's actually kind of an annoying Storm game.
I think it's really bad. I hate Storm against Pugna.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a better Storm game for ViCi, wouldn't it?
I think it would have been a good Storm game for ViCi. I'm pretty confident in that. Trust the Storm guy here, Kyle.
Well, quite. That's what I was going with.
I don't know how your Storm... Like, you have Storm and Luna that need games now. I like the boxy Monkey King. I think that him being offlane is going to be cool here, but it just seems to me like if they don't run away with their lanes, you're going to have ViCi just by attrition killing all your towers. Their late game stronger. They have answers to the win conditions of Alliance, which is just CC a Luna, CC a Storm, they're dead. Move on to the next one. It just seems an easier game to play for the better team.
Okay. In one word then, ViCi or Alliance, Will?
ViCi.
Kyle?
Yeah, ViCi. I thought it was self-explanatory, Paul. Try and keep
I'm
up.
struggling, obviously. It's been a bit of a break. I'm old, so that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's move on because our commentary team are ready to bring you game number 2. It's over to Odie, Pixel, and Fold.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yes, game 2 now of Alliance versus ViCi Gaming, and we have some very different stuff coming out indeed. Alliance having a bit of an opener here, bringing in this Monkey King to the mix, and
Offlane.
ViCi Gaming, they've got a lot of burst, a lot of go, and I like what ViCi Gaming is doing. I think that this is going to be a game where before those BKBs come online for the Luna and the Monkey King, they're just going to get blown the heck up by all this magical burst that's going to be thrown out in the fights.
I think a lot of this one's going to depend on the lanes, because I do agree with the panel, but I also am seeing that the only catch and disable on the side of ViCi is this Lion. They literally have no other catch or disable besides that one hero. So I think that could be a little thing that can be a bit difficult, because Lion is not a hero that you see every single game. However, there was a last pick Storm into a Lion. So an instant hex is Storm's nightmare.
Yes, and already we said, as we heard on the panel from Blitz, he was a little bit worried about the prospects of the Storm this game, so we'll see how well it can work out for them. But yeah, not only the Storm, also the Pugna, as Carl mentioned, well, they're unable to sort of take that ward down to the fight. He's got to be careful when he's popping out that Remnants, as he's going to take that extra bit of burst damage back towards himself. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, game 2 of ViCi Gaming versus Alliance in this 2-game series, of course, as we'll see them fight for their position in the groups. As,
Alliance is smoking up right away. They're looking for
both
Yang,
teams.
and they're going to find him.
Magic Missile to lead up, and Sanya and Boxy there, as they've got the point and the Boundless Strike actually laid down. Nightmare as well to buy time for Mickey to come in and get involved in the first blood, as Insania gets the last touch. First blood for Alliance, as the smoke is successful.
And a great start for them. We were talking about how important these lanes are going to be really in this game, and I look at ViCi, and I do think, in particular, this top lane it's not really the strongest. Like Lion, Pugna, you've got your range advantage, but you're at risk of dying. They really have to play really well to defend the Pugna. Then they can be strong. Once they get their levels, they're a bunch stronger, but yeah, Lion is just a question mark always.
The battle begins.
Let's see, as room-wise, it's going to just, well, it's actually going to be the 3-for-1 trade. ViCi Gaming able to get their hands on 3 of the bounty runes. That bottom bounty rune, looks like Alliance were not in the neighborhood to pick it up.
I'm wondering how this bottom lane matchup happens, because I actually have never seen an IO Gyrocopter versus a Monkey King Venge. It's not something you see every day.
No.
This opener by Alliance was very unorthodox.
I feel like it's going to be, what, a hard lane for the Gyro IO, do you think? I mean, what sort of level 2s there
I think Monkey King has like 1 armor, right? Isn't he just gonna get bullied? He's just gonna get poked a lot. But I guess if they can see the IO move out of position, then they can threaten kills a bunch.
Yeah. And just see how it goes down in the mid lane. So Quake for Storm up against Ori's Necrophos. We'll see how well Ori can sort of hold the lane.
Or he should do great.
Early levels.
Yeah, he should do great in that matchup. Storm's gonna get farmed, but yeah, they're neither of them like Necro threatens more kills onto the Storm than anything.
Oh, absolutely, and he's going to be able to, once he gets the stick out, get those easy stick charges and have a lot of burst heal if he ever is.
And he got it immediately.
Yeah, so it's going to be so good in this matchup in terms of just making it pretty much impossible for Quakefoot to get a solo kill.
So we were talking about the top lane matchup. We do now head to a little bit of a change-up. So I know I was talking about how the Luna Bane can have a pretty good time because they've got Aura and Brain Sap, but we don't have Insania with Brain Sap, and ViCi, with that very low armor.
Can run down a little bit here by the two of them. Fade, couple more right clicks. Not quite enough. ViCi will be able to survive.
Stout shield for the winner. As top, they're just trading a lot of hits back and forth. Like we said though, the sleep is skilled on the Bane for that level 1 setup kill. So now with Brain Sap leveled up, he's much more threatening force. Yeah, some good farm for ViCi across the board on all 3 heroes. All 3 of their cores.
Bottom. And just keeping the harassment up, leveling the homing missile.
Yeah, they don't. That's the big thing too. Is whenever you look at Gyrocopter, the lane that he's playing against, can they kill the missile? No, they cannot.
Oh,
Venge has to walk up way too close to be able to try to risk it. I think the only one that has risk of dying is really Fade. So yeah, I do think that this bottom matchup is really going to struggle. And now top, they're able to get their levels acquired, and DY is doing a great job of just staying kind of back here. But now gap gets closed onto him, looking in a bit of trouble.
I'm going to protect him a little bit here with that decrep, and now, turning. Hex onto Mickey, stick charge as well for DY, gives him enough mana for another stun. DY does fall. Can Yang find the return kill onto Mickey? He's trying his best with the blast. He will. He'll get one of them. And the Decrepify and Salve allows Yang to back off. Does get the Salve cancelled by the Brain Sap from Insania. Mid lane, Ori nearly getting the solo kill onto Quaker as he shoves him back behind his tower.
Ori's been playing these matchups incredibly well, and he's putting so much pressure onto the Storm in lane. He's almost got he's gonna have a full level advantage pretty soon over Quaker.
These lanes are not looking great for Alliance. This first few minutes, very much struggling, as you can really see the difference in CS and, as you say, levels as well.
I feel like Alliance, we said it, Alliance needs to do well in these lanes, otherwise it's going to be really complicated for them to catch back up. Storm and Luna, these are farming heroes. They don't really want to battle so much until they get that, in particular the Storm gets treads in the Kaya. Then you can start making moves around the map. But Luna, you don't want to be pressured so much. You want to be able to sit back, get your treads, get your Master Manas.
The pressure's certainly on for Mickey on this top lane. We saw him have a rough lane in game 1, but definitely not as rough as this time.
He's getting no last hits. They got the kill, but now the pressure's coming out. These two further
How's the regen on him as well? He's got to be burning through that regen pretty quick.
He's got 1 tango. He's got 6 sticks charges. But they are completely out of regen up here.
They're getting bullied right back.
Yang takes a heavy burst of damage here. DY is standing under the creep wave though. He's dead.
He is absolutely dead for that one, but getting a little too confident. Maybe Insania will go down in return. No, Yang can't stick around for the final right click. So Alliance able to punish ViCi Gaming. It's ViCi Gaming doing very well in that top lane, apart from until then, making that bit of a slip up. Bottom lane, they do manage to take down. Oh no, they don't. They don't take down the homing missile in time as it does connect to the box. He's able to turn with the Jingu Mastery and Boundless Strike. Life still getting him back up. He's still going to be chased. Paparazzi's in there with the Rocket Barrage. Boxy trying his best to escape. TP's coming in and Boxy will live. Tiger's in time to put the magic missile down on Paparazzi. Boxy still sort of playing around with the idea of coming back in. Quaitfa's coming with a rotation, ready to punish Paparazzi and Fade as he pops down the remnants. He's able to burst down one of them, burst down both of them. So now ViCi Gaming, after a great start to the lanes, getting a little too aggressive up top and certainly getting a little too aggressive down bottom as well as they get punished.
The Dream Rune for Quakefa. He was actually walking top, checked the rune. The Ori chased him out, so Quakefa had to TP to his shrine. He walks bottom and finds himself a haste. So natural progression for him to get into those 2 kills. But now bottom continues to put the pressure on Boxy and Taiga. They might just go down here again.
See top. DY again in a bit of a dangerous place. He has been decrepified, but they're chasing. The decrepify is going to wear off. The elusive beam comes down for the Luna. Bottom lane again. Quakefa coming in to join the action, able to find 1 kill, looking towards Fade. Fade able to remnant over. Sorry, to tether over to Ori, who does come across from the middle lane. Will keep Fade safe, but Alliance doing a very good job at getting themselves some kills, some action. Still, the farm is a bit of a different story. You look at this middle lane, there's a Necrophos sitting on 37 and 11 against a 16 for 0 for Koifa. So even though Koifa's been getting himself involved in some of these pickoffs on the side, it's just opened this lane up to be such a beautiful place for this Necrophos to farm to his heart's content.
I'm gonna have to ask more about that matchup, because I thought Storm can actually get an okay amount in that lane. He's not gonna get kills or anything, but he's not gonna get this destroyed. This is
nearly 2 levels between them as Ori's about to hit level 7. Koifa still not having the Bull Lightning online yet. He's got to be careful, especially with DY here as well, looking to catch him out if he does step a little too far forwards.
And we're seeing that top lane. The trades of kills are coming out, but Pugna naturally gets last hits with the blast. While Luna, you have to individually get those right clicks every single time. So Yang is just further increasing up there, as he will survive again. Where's his courier going? We're just sitting there. Okay, they're buying treads. All right. I guess that was Ori using it from the side shop. I was like, where the hell is the courier going for them? He doesn't want to have to wait for it to go all the way back to base, so tread's going to be delivered for this Necro. This tower's pretty much dead.
Was there 6.5 minutes in? Tier 1 tower in the mid lane gone. It's a dangerous prospect there for Alliance in terms of their mid lane.
He's got a solid 1,100 gold over Koikfa. And Koikfa got, what, 2 kills given to him down bottom? Yep. Oh, yeah. And immediate rotation. Ori's like, I already did what I need to do in the mid lane. I'm going to go top and keep bullying this Luna that's already not having a good time. He's even going to take a stack.
Down bottom, Tiger, Magic Missile comes out, but you can't really go onto Paparazzi when he's tethered up.
Not fast enough.
They can't. Can they get the touch on? One more will do it to get the passive build up. They do manage to find the passive up, but they buy the shrine, so they can't look to do anything with that passive built up at the moment.
I think Koikfa's going to have to just play very active on this Storm now. He's just going to have to make the rotations from lane to lane like he has been. He has treads, but he cannot let his Luna get bullied whenever the Necrophos goes toward top. So we'll see which one he opts to go for. It might be bottom.
But even then, with this Necrophos being as strong as he is, surely if the Necrophos goes top, does the Storm really pose much of a threat against the Necrophos? It's going to be hard with how far he's behind. As bottom lane, movement comes in, DY trying to help set up for a kill onto Boxy, and it's successful. Boxy taken away. Top lane, there's the movement from Ori. Comes in, drops a Reaper Scythe, will lose his Pugna. So 1-for-1 up top, and now Koifa indeed. He is here. We'll see if he can do something to out get Ori, but there's the Ghost Shroud, the Burst Heal back up to full. There's not a lot this Storm can do at this stage at all against this incredibly farmed Necrophos for the 8-minute mark.
At least he kind of pushes a bit of pressure out of the lane. He kills the Pugna, so now Mickey can farm up here a little bit safer. But it's a heavy commitment forward for Koifa, which is going to really hurt his farm.
As bottom lane, things not getting any better for Boxy anytime soon down it.
Nope. Paparazzi is farming quite nicely. Tied, actually. I mean, he's still getting pressured a bit, but he's tied with the Luna, and they're going for kills constantly.
They're just running in on Boxy. He has to use the Boundless here to slow him down a little bit, but the Final Spirit slows him down just long enough for the Rocket Barrage to come through from Paparazzi. This is such a scary lane for Boxy. And that was just with the two of them. DY was around, didn't even need to drop any spells, as Boxy just fell regardless. As top lane, Ori, 6.5 minutes in, he took the tier 1 mid, he's moving up to top. They are going to try and defend, and they do come in with the Eclipse, fighting back hard. But they'll lose the Luna. Ori still has the Ghost Shroud to rely on. Tiger's coming in with the rotation as well as they have the Nightmare to set up. They really want this Necrophos dead. Can they actually get away with this?
I don't think so.
They've got to back off. The three of them cannot deal with Ori, as the moves that he's making on the map are just absolutely massive. He's got 5.1k net worth, 9 minutes in. He's helped them take the middle tier 1 tower. He's moved to the top. He's claimed another tier 1. He's got a full hood out on the way of the courier.
Oh my God.
He is getting very close to borderline unkillable at this stage of the game.
He's playing, he's literally playing perfectly. In the last game too, I think he had like barely any deaths. He got the constant Yule setups on the Brewmaster. This game now, he went mid, took the tower, crushed the lane, goes top, puts pressure on, forces Koikfa to make these movements that, as a Storm, you don't really want to have to do this so much. Like, he has to, though, because he has to bail out his Luna to be able to get some farm. But yeah, Ori is just gonna just cruise it. Look at this now. He's already walking down toward bottom to look for those bounty runes.
They need like 5 heroes on him to kill him at this point in the game of the hood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's an Arcane Rune as well there for Ori.
Delicious.
Oi, oi, oi.
And he's gonna go for tower. He's like, okay, I got an Arcane Rune team. Let's go. Let's group up for this last tier 1.
Being at 10 minutes in and being on the verge of taking all tier 1 towers, that is a huge lead for the team to have.
Definitely. And their IO gyrocopter is just able to jungle now, pretty much just get Paparazzi's safe farm while Ori takes the risky farm and the risky pressure.
And still a long time really before Koifa's going to be any sort of deadly presence on the map.
And they have to, the thing is that now Alliance, they're forced to make these moves around, and their Luna is just left up top, so he has to jungle like strictly on Mickey, which as a Luna, it's not the worst, but it's still a bit too early. Doesn't have the damage to really do that, only has 1 point in the glaive as well.
Radiant are scanning.
And Yang's just gonna get a free time up top, pressuring the lane constantly, because if the Luna does go to lane, the Pugna can kill him. You can just walk up, get a couple like D-Craps, blast, life drain, force a beam, and then just go for a re-engagement. So Alliance, they're forced in a weird position where they have to just constantly make moves around the map.
Well, they've got the setup here with the Wave of Terror, getting the vision, but TPs are coming. This is a very deep place for Alliance to be in as the stun, the cooldown come into play. Reaper Scythe down onto Boxy. Tiger caught out by the stun from the homing missile, and that diving behind tier 1s into that area of the map, it's not a move that we see many teams do, as it's just not a move that's, it's not going to have a high success rate doing that.
It's already feeling like desperate moves.
You're never going to get away with that play. Sure, you might get a kill on a support, but you're absolutely losing at least one of your own team in response. And in that case, both of them, as Koifa still got a bit of mana to play with, so should be able to keep his distance.
They're relocating up, though. They're really looking for him.
They are certainly hunting. The stun's already going to be expended. And Quaker, I think, with the juke down towards the bottom, yeah, he's played it smart. They weren't able to read the move. They thought that he went a little deeper onto his half of the map, so Quaker is able to get himself away from that relocate movement.
But they're on the full defensive. Look at the map right now. Look at the Alliance heroes, where they're positioned. 3 of them are at base right now. Only the Luna is getting any farm right now, and they're just trapped. ViCi is completely suffocating them with their movements, and they're all farming. They're 3 cores, top of the net worth, already a 5k gold advantage at 12 minutes. Boy, uh-oh. Mickey at least now has the Morbid Mask finished and has a couple points more in the glaive.
And Boxy this game, I mean, it's just so hard for him to really do anything.
Zip forward.
There's the homing missile, the cooldown, sure, but they've got so much heal and sustain between the IO and the Necrophos. Alliance, they just don't do any damage at all in comparison to the heals and sustain that ViCi have got when they come together for this 5-man push. As Alliance, they've lost the lanes too hard. When it comes to fights, they have nothing to present, as ViCi Gaming can just walk in with a 5-man. And there really aren't many plays that Alliance can do to counter this, alleviate it, or make any sort of use of the map whilst this goes on. They just have to let their tier 2s get taken. It's 12 minutes in, the tier 2 in the mid lane's gone. Already ViCi Gaming have the creeps in position up top to take another tier 2. They're just taking the entirety of the map. And Alliance, with this lineup and with the start that they've had, they can't do anything.
No, they really cannot. The Luna just has to try to recover and get some crazy type of farm with the Mask of Madness, which he's not very, he's still quite a ways away from. He's gone just a Morbid Mask into Dragonlance that he wants to, but again, look, they're not able to actually get any farm on the map. They can't push their lanes out, they can't be able to make their own aggressive moves, and it's just ViCi cruising. There's, like, Koifa can't actually set up for kills either, because Io has 1100 HP. The only thing he can kill is a Lion who can instantly hex him, and then they can relocate the setup several times. Koifa dodging the missile.
It's going to zip in. They've got the Fiend's Grip onto the Gyro, but the heals there as well as the tether here as they keep that Gyro fully alive. Paparazzi turns with the cooldown. Boxer will come out with the balance strike onto the 2 of them. Post the Wukong's command. They are able to find Yak. They get the Pugna. Still, Paparazzi and the IO, they've got the backup of DY. Paparazzi ready to done. He's got the flak out. Alliance falling pretty low here. They've got to run themselves away from this Jar and IO, chasing them down. Tiger getting hexed up. Boxy and Quaifa off to the side. Quick juke as they dodge the homing missile, but both Boxy and Quaifa getting smashed by the balls of Fade. Quaifa using his last bit of mana to keep the distance, get up to the high ground, but Paparazzi, he's chasing. He's got eyes on him, and there's no mana left on Quaifa. So again, another fight where Alliance try as they might to throw everything into us to stop this 5-man push, getting away with everything. They can't stop it.
It looked decent for a moment, but they just all started dropping pretty low. They had to commit so much to try to kill Paparazzi, and then he's alive. I think if the Pugna even started draining the IO instead, would have been even more beneficial for ViCi, but either way, Paparazzi's alive. They win another team fight, 8k gold advantage, and it's continuously them putting the pressure onto Alliance. Alliance, they can't get anything out of this. The Luna now goes bottom to get a bit more farm, but nobody else on the map is really getting much of anything. Koifa just continues to unable to get anything. 50 last hits on a Storm at 15 minutes in the game.
Down bottom setup there onto Mickey. Relocate comes in to make sure the damage there from the Jar to bring him down under the cover of the Reaper's side. Mickey's out the game for a full minute. DY, he gets gone on by Boxy, but they can't even kill the Lion, and that was 2 cores. That was Boxy and Quaifa heading towards DY, and they just had to run themselves away. Boxy's gonna die. 15 minutes in, 10k advantage, and this really is ViCi Gaming just cruising across Alliance. They do catch out Fade up top with a swap, but they're scared.
Though. Yeah, he's fine.
They swap him, and they're like, oh my goodness, get away from the IO, boys. He's probably got friends in this neighborhood, and they were right. Alliance, I think it's going to be a bit of back to the drawing board on this game, as the draft and the play, it just didn't cut it.
Yeah, I mean, it just from... The opener for me was really weird. The Venge Monkey King, I know Alliance has their own style. That one just, it's a bit unorthodox, but then the last pick Storm into all this. Like, only the line has a disable, sure, but like Blitz was saying, it's not fun to play Storm into the Necros or into the Pugna. Necro is a healing hero, which already makes it a bit hard as a Storm Spirit, because you can just reset always. It is definitely looking quite challenging, as it's an 11k gold lead, and it's only 16 minutes in. Ori has itemized beautifully, having the Treads hood, even going for the Atos, which isn't really your always standard item choice, but in this game, he's just crushing everything. He can look for kills non-stop onto Quake for this and set up for his team to get relocates and whatnot. That gives them, that makes up for the fact that they only really had the line for the disable, having an extra, you know, Atos.
And that extra bit of beef on him as well. He's so tanky. He really isn't. He's just not going to die this game. He's not going to die.
No, doesn't feel like it. He's 4-0-4. Yeah. So may now have cursed him, but we'll see.
Okay, didn't quite have the Reaper Cypher there. 15 seconds. As we're going to see here some of the goal breakdown in between that mid-match. So as you can see, double the amount of money taken in terms of lane creeps. And a full 1k more in terms of the buildings taken, as of course, still at this point, Alliance, so they haven't taken any tier 1 towers. So have they even really damaged any tier 1 towers?
Top is pretty much full, mid is almost full, and bottom is okay. They did like 750
they did a bit on the bottom. Okay, they managed to get the tier 1 tower down bottom, a little bit of a tickle, but that's about it this game.
Look where Mick is farming. This is his safest place to farm on the map as a Luna. He's farming the enemy left side jungle. And
he only farmed the small creeps of that camp before he only farmed one.
He only farmed one.
And then he was like, I got to get out of here. It's a very rough game for Alliance now in this position. They're trying their best to sort of keep it going, maybe hoping for an overextension or a misplay from ViCi Gaming, but
ViCi's playing patient too. They're just waiting.
Playing very well.
Right now they're waiting to get their BKB finished on Paparazzi so they can actually look to just close this one out. Maybe even go for a Roshan or just look for a big team fight into a game-ending play. Looking extremely difficult for Alliance. How's Mikit doing? All right, Dragonlance's finished and eternally far away from it.
There's that rod coming into play, and it's getting to this point. I mean, they're throwing in a relocate. They don't even really need to, or he can solo kill that on his own at this stage. I'm pretty sure he had the damage.
He went for Blink, so he's the setup for the relocates now, because Lion's a little bit harder to do so.
Yeah, and this is perfect, of course, you know, with the rod, you know, it's got sort of that cast animation, the projectile, now you get straight on top of him, go for the rod, there's no sort of time for a counterplay. You're going to be on top of the storm quicker than he can begin the ball lightning animation.
Boxy ults, and ViCi's like, okay, we'll just back out.
Watch from a distance, we'll still push the tower though, you know, coming in as the Pugna, doing what he does best, throwing the blast in on the tower. A very impossible game this looks to be for Alliance. As ViCi Gaming, they're pretty much in the whole of the series. It was sort of the beginning of the first game. It looked like Alliance has something going. Maybe they've got something here. They go with the Eclipse, the Fiend script. Do they have the damage to kill off any of these heroes? I don't think they do, because Paparazzi waltzes in with his BKB. The Flak as well, as Alliance is just getting bullied back towards the fountain. There'll be a buyback on Boxy. Mickey, he's trying to get himself out, but he can't. Double kill for Paparazzi. Another buyback comes out from Alliance, as ViCi Gaming will... They'll give him a bit of mercy, start to back away from the fountain. Quite for trying to zip forward. They've got the Nightmare set up. Can they get these kills? Quite for he's expended all of his mana. He's been defensively nightmared, but the Rod comes out outside the base, holding down Boxy. Boxy's going to fall a second time. It's a dieback on the Monkey King. ViCi Gaming looking towards the racks. And this was, I mean, recently we have seen some really good showings from this new Alliance lineup, but this game, it's definitely got to be one of the roughest they've had in a long time. As ViCi Gaming, they absolutely crushed them. This game, it wasn't close at all. This was one of the most one-sided games we've seen in a while.
Yeah, they won. I think they won all 3 lanes pretty handedly. I guess top, maybe you could say, was a little bit of an exchange, but Luna wasn't getting last hits. Pugna was getting last hits and pressuring tower the whole time. So yeah, ViCi won all 3 lanes. Ori made beautiful rotations, pressured the mid lane, one mid lane hard, one top for his team too after that rotation. And Koikfa was forced into a position where he's 2 levels of disadvantage over this Necrophos who's just controlling the whole pace of the game, and he's just in catch-up mode the whole time. And he's trying to make plays because he has to try to set up for his Luna to catch up.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you have these
so
3
hard.
cores that, you know, they have to catch up. These heroes, Monkey King, Luna, Storm, if they lose in the lane and get behind, they're probably some of the least scary cores in the game. Like,
Absolutely.
They just don't kill anyone. You do not have the damage. If you don't have sort of that first major item on any of these cores, they just do nothing. They get walked over. They get blown up. As I said, this was always going to be the threat. This Pugna Necrophos, as soon as they get ahead, they're just going to be storming down lanes, blasting you to smithereens, and there's no space, no time to recuperate, build yourself back up. As we saw Mickey with some sort of desperate actions. We saw him. He was searching over the creep camps in one of the scariest places to farm, but that was actually the best place to be. I don't know. I think that was just a game that Alliance have just got to, you know, sort of clean the slate off. Forget. Don't ever do that again. As that draft, that sort of combination of heroes, I really felt was something that we're not likely to see really work. Storm, Luna, and Monkey King.
Yeah, weird tricore.
No one else is doing. I don't think anyone. You probably look back on all the games in terms of pro. No one else would do that. It's such a hard thing to make work. And maybe if you're significantly better than the opposition team and you feel like, oh, we got this one easy, and you can stomp it, maybe you get away with it.
Yeah, maybe. Boxy I felt like Boxy didn't even get to play this game as his Monkey King, so.
Well, rough one indeed, as Alliance will drop game 2, 2-0 here in this 2-game series to ViCi Gaming, as we pass it back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Jody Pixel and Fogged, for the commentary in that 2-game series. A victory for VG puts them 4-0. What a fine day from those men from China. They end the day 4-0 in their group as well. And what could end up being a very tight race for those top 4 spots. So impressive start from them. Very poor from Alliance in their 2nd series today. Let's find out what our panel members made of that. Kyle, you said after the first game they didn't need to fix too much. It was very much their draft. They picked good heroes. 9 times out of 10 they win that if they execute right. Didn't need to change that much, yet they did. They changed an awful lot in the second, and it didn't look good, did it?
Nah, so much single target, so much dependence on winning lanes, and they run out of damage. They have no real sustained damage until Luna's got like 4 items, and it's just not a good lineup. And that's also not the Alliance that I've seen win games.
Yeah, very different, Will. I mean, what do you pin that on?
I think it's draft, and as a result, like the lanes went really bad. Plus, I think the last pick Storm. Like, if you have absolute last pick, I feel like that should be your hero that's like trump card. This is my ace. Like
this is our winning hero.
Yeah,
this is what we're pinning all our hopes on.
We've won the game with this pick. Do what you can against it, but you'll fail. And I feel like it's so hard to play Storm against that. There's 2 things I don't like playing as a Storm into. It's either heal or sustain, like just generally tanky heroes, or it's just quick stuns.
Yep.
And although they didn't really have like a ton of quick stuns, I mean they have
Lion.
Yeah, they have Lion, and Lion alone, you know, you're always going to get the Hex off for the most part. If you overcommit for the Lion, then the Wisp Gyro is beating the rest of your team. It seems like it makes sense to pick Storm against Wisp, but I kind of disagree, because if the Wisp's positioning is good, you use a large burst of your mana, like maybe 60% or more, trying to find that Wisp. You try to target him. He's a hard hero to kill. People don't realize that, but that's a tanky hero, and if you don't kill him, you almost guaranteed lost the fight for your team. It's just a weird position to put yourself in. That's why I said Storm for ViCi, all the way. But if you're playing Storm, it's a bad laning phase against Necro, because every time you step forward to Remnant, you're going to get hit twice, you're going to get nuked.
It's also the importance of damage reduction versus heroes with static damage output is naturally going to be incredibly strong, because you can't do more damage as a Storm. You have your abilities, you have a few auto attacks with overcharge, and like that's it. So if that's not killing somebody, like that, you can't do anything else. There's no way to increase your damage output. Like that you're done, and you just can't win that game.
Did Alliance overthink this one?
Yeah, the Monkey King Venge opener is not a thing. I know they can offlane it, it's cute and everything, but it's not good. And into Wisp Gyro again, like that's the other thing. We're giving the Chinese region the China special. I mean, Wisp Gyro has been played forever, but LGD would pick that into anything. ViCi will pick that into anything. Like, why make it hard on yourself?
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like maybe Alliance took some strategy from some of the China qualifiers that they've watched? Because we have seen some Lunas picked into that IO Gyro, and we have seen that kind of line, maybe not the Venge Monkey opening, but we've seen that similar kind of attempt to kind of break it down.
You need to pick it. Luna is a snowballing core. You want to play the hero because Luna's high tempo, right? But you want Luna to be your second, preferably third core in terms of map pressure and the ability to provide tempo. When I see Luna's work, it's with a DK, it's with a Furion, it's with heroes that, like a Brood, you know, where the Luna's game is pretty free. And you have the option to group up and maybe pressure once you hit a timing, but preferably you're just farming the map, and the other heroes on your team require the enemy to commit more resources than your team has to. Heroes like Furion and Brood, that's their bread and butter. 8 minutes in, you need both supports if you want to stop a Furion. If there's a Brood in your mid lane, you need to bring a rotation to help your core and babysit him. This gives Luna the freedom to get to the point in the game you're going to be able to win it.
Not as we've seen it work in exactly those circumstances on some of the Chinese qualifiers. Well, final thoughts on this game, and we'll then turn our attention to the MVP. It does leave Alliance in a bit of a state in this group, doesn't it? 1 and 3.
Yeah, and I feel like especially they're going to be kicking themselves because Game 1 was such a winnable thing. Game 2, I feel like it was hard to work with the draft. Game 1, I felt like the draft was in their favor. They just had some execution errors, and that's where you should kind of go back and say, like, we can do something similar. You didn't have to go that far away from your comfort zone. I felt like this game was something where they decided to be a little bit cute. Like, there's leaving your lanes open, and then there's, like Kyle said, having the Monkey King Venge lane.
Yeah, it was a little about. Let's turn our attention to MVP. Will has picked out Ori for this one, but I guess you probably could have picked out Paparazzi as well if you wanted to. Maybe even Yang in the middle of that. They all had decent games, but this is your MVP for this particular game. Explain why, Will.
I feel like he played the lane very well. He made very good rotations. Plus, he just played his hero the way that it needed to be played. He was so front-facing. He was very aggressive. He understood, my hero won't die. I can play the edge. And if you play aggressively on a hero like Necro, what it does is it allows the rest of your team to have a game. And this is such a big, important concept in Dota is if you're some guy, you're scared to do anything. You're scared to engage because you have the top net worth and you're afraid to die and you don't play forward. It's so easy for your team to just get overrun. But by being aggressive at all times, it makes it hard for the Storm because he can't just zip past you. He doesn't know where anybody else is. It enables his team to play Dota. That's why he's the MVP for me.
Yep. And I think the best example of that was when they killed that top tower. There's 3 heroes trying to kill a Necro, and Ori just doesn't give a damn. He continues to pressure.
Yep.
And whenever you're 3 heroes running away from a Necrophos all by himself, you just feel miserable. Necro sits in the lane, continues to shove it, and you just lost.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
tough game.
That's how you play the Necro.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much, both of you. Talking of MVPs, the MVP by Mercedes-Benz will be open tomorrow after all the matches are finished tomorrow. But you can go and sign up right now because if you're like me, you're a bit forgetful, bit of an old fuddy-duddy, don't use a calendar, guess what? Sign up now and you'll get notification when it's open. It makes it a lot easier. Just go and do that. Much easier. Also, something that I'm very privileged to be able to talk to you about. Over this coming weekend, actually on Sunday, the PaySafeCard Hall of Fame will be inducting a new member, and it is, of course, a friend of mine who sadly passed away earlier this year, Mr. Total Biscuit, will be the first ever non-player deservedly put into the PaySafeCard ESL Hall of Fame. That's happening on Sunday as well. Right, we're going to head to a break. When we come back, though, we'll move on to our 3rd series of the day and a chance to see how those boys in Forward Gaming stack up against the defending champions. Virtus Pro, we'll see you soon.